name's Antonio Johnson. First of all, I want to thank everyone who's ever watched any of my videos, learned anything from them. I put all this stuff up here just to try to help out. It's funny how when you're doing marketing or sales or whatever the case may be, hearing someone else's voice tell you something about gives you just different perspective, and it's very, very helpful. So Jeff Bezos always said that great leaders don't have a problem with changing. They get new information and they change. I'm very, very adamant about my TPC chart, the way it was built. And you need to go watch that video so this video will make sense. But anyway, think things have changed for me. Um, when it comes to growing, it's still about simplifying the process, making it easy for people to focus on something that keeps them from getting distracted by all the negatives, right? There are millions of negatives in marketing. So, what I mean by negatives in marketing, what I mean is all the things people will say to you that actually just simply mean no, right? And it's easy to remember people rejecting you than it is to stay focused on finding the person who's looking for your services. And no matter how much in your heart you know that there's a person out there that would love to have your services, after you hear 100 different ways people say no, it sometimes sticks in your mind and you sometimes fall for it and believe the lies, right? Some of them are truths, but when I say lies, I simply mean uh, you've heard it so much you start thinking it can't be done, right? But you got to give yourself an option so you can focus. The reason why people do goals because goals keep you focused, and you don't get distracted. All right. So I'm simplifying the LOAs and the turn and burn. I'm telling you, this is as simple as it gets. I want you to tell this to anybody. I want you to try it. Turn and burn, right, is when you walk to someone and say, "Hey, we have a special event. Let me show you." And then you turn around, is you're using and start the presentation, right? You do that. If you do that 10 times, one person will stop, right? And follow you to that table, right? The person follows you to the table. I don't care if it's one, right? When you do that 10 times, when you get 10 people to the table, you have one who would have said yes by 10, right? I'm telling you, this works. It doesn't matter what excuse they give you. If you go, hey, uh, did you hear about the special event? And then you make the turn and walk towards the table, and they follow you to the table, and their answer is, oh, I already got it, right? Still count that. If their answer is, or whatever the excuse they give you, but they stop long enough for you to have a conversation, count that as a person who stopped at the table. If they just ignore you and keep going by you and don't stop, do not count that. But for every turn and burn you make, one person out of 10 ought to come to the table. If they don't, you're not doing the turn and burn the right way. It's probably your face, it's probably your confidence, it's probably that you're not acting like you have sense of urgency. I don't know. It's a million different things it could be. But trust me, if you're doing the right thing, if you 10 people, one of them are going to come to the table. Once you get 10 people to the table, you ought to have a yes. If you don't have a yes, once you get 10 people to the table, then you're not doing the presentation that you were taught. Okay? Does that make sense? Got stuff in mind. Sorry about that. All right. It's called 10 by 10. If you focus on just getting 10 people to the table, I'm telling you, you're going to win every single time. It's really that simple. And that's the way you ought to teach it. Because if you teach it that way, people can't get distracted. Just remember, tell them, forget all the things they hear. Did you get 10 people to the table? 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 That should be the concept. Did you get 10 people to the table? Did you get 10 people to the table? Keep it simple. Did you get 10 people to the table? If they didn't, then you got to ask them. You're not doing the turn and burn, huh? You're not doing the turn and burn. The turn and burn is simple. Just walk up to somebody and say, did you hear about a special event? and turn away and walk away. Even if they try to speak to you, ignore it and get to the table. You want them to follow you to the table. All right. I'm telling you, this is a game changer. I'm telling you, this is a game changer. It's called 10 by 10. 10 by 10. 10 intros of turn and burn should get you one person to the table. 10 people to the table should get you one person to say yes. I'm telling you, it's gold. All right. Y'all take it easy. I'm out.